Hi, College and Career Success. Welcome to week 6. We are just starting to really wrap things up here. So before I jump into the assignment video for part 1 of this week, I just want to real quickly let you know that week 1 will be reopening this Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So if anyone missed work from the beginning of the semester, sometimes I have students who were just still trying to figure out bright space, or you enrolled a couple days later in the week, and so you just need a little bit more time to go back. So week 1 will be reopening this Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then during week 7, I'll have week 2 open. Week 8, I'll have week 3 open. The good thing is this class has been on top of it, and so there's probably very little for anyone to make up, but I wanted to at least give the opportunity in case someone did want to make something up from those first few weeks. All right, so let's go ahead and scroll down. We're in week 6. If you haven't already, make sure you check out the Chapter 9 and Chapter 10 lecture videos. We're in Chapters 9 and 10 this week, so another heavy week with 2 chapters. And then I'm going to be breaking down these videos into Chapter 9 assignment and Chapter 10 assignment so that it's not too much at once. Okay, so I'm going to focus just on your Chapter 9 for right now, but you can kind of get this quick screenshot here of what you'll be doing. So hopefully at this point you're very accustomed to weeks where you have 2 discussion boards. So you'll have a Chapter 9 and a Chapter 10. So make sure you post in both of those for week 6 attendance and then respond to 2 classmates in each of them. I want to stress again, I'm having just a little bit of a reminder needing that it's 150 words. So make sure that you are doing your 150 words or more for your responses. Now, again, if you're a little under, it's not a big deal, but if you're significantly under, you are seeing that loss in points. You will have a Chapter 9 assignment, a Chapter 9 quiz, a Chapter 10 assignment, a Chapter 10 quiz. But again, this video is just going to focus on this Chapter 9 piece. So let's go ahead and start taking a look. I'm going to scroll down. Here's our Chapter 9 discussion. So Chapter 9 talks about civility and interacting with people in like a professional way and what happens when that does not occur. And so your prompt says, have you ever witnessed incivility in person or an argument in the news? And unfortunately, we see this oftentimes in politics, in religion, in sometimes just in the workplace, in the news. Like there's so many examples, which is a good thing for this assignment, not a great thing for life in general. But so kind of talk about, like, describe what happened, you know, if it was something that you saw firsthand, or if it's something that you just watched on the news or a little clip on social media, something. Describe what happened, and why do you think individuals are willing to shut down communication over issues they're passionate about? Like, what makes people kind of get really worked up or just shut down or respond in a way that might be not respectful? So you're just kind of talking about this process of incivility. And again, this is the concept, and the title for Chapter 9 is talking about different things about civility and diversity and making sure that we're interacting with people in a way that are respectful. So that is your prompt for Chapter 9. Make sure you post your original response by Wednesday along with Chapter 10, and then respond to 2 classmates by Sunday. Okay, so kind of in that same vein of thinking, you have a Chapter 9 assignment called the Civility Project. And so it's going to open up into a PDF file that you can type in, and you can see you have 2 examples. So you're going to look for 2 examples of incivility in the media. So this can be, it gives them, you know, videos, social media postings, interviews, infographics, memes, and so on. So if you are doing like a link or a picture or something like that, just go ahead and include the link right here or attach the picture as an attachment with your assignment. So I have reference for it. Like if you have a real quick YouTube video or there's a screenshot of a post on Instagram or whatever it might be, go ahead and include that so I know what it is you're talking about. And you're going to find 2 examples. And again, this should not be difficult to find. We are in the midst of a very kind of divisive society, and so you're probably going to be able to scroll through any comment section on a news site and be able to see people interacting with one another in a way that's not very civil. So kind of keep that in mind. So you're going to answer these questions for both, same questions for both, just different examples. What is being depicted? Just real quick, like what is going on here in this video or this link or this post? Who is the intended audience? You know, was this intended for people of a certain age or background or viewers of a certain type of preference, whatever it might be? What do you think the purpose of it is? Is it to inform, to get people worked up, to entertain? Why is it in an example of incivility? Like, what is it? Is there language being used? Are they calling names? Like, what is it about it that's not a very civil interaction? What do you think motivated the creator, whether it was someone who posted something, someone who was giving the news? Like, what was the motivation behind it? And then what do you think is the result? Do you think people are going to learn or act differently? Do you think nothing's going to change? So you're going to do that for 2 different examples. Again, it says examples can come from videos, memes, GIFs, posts, tweets, whatever you want to do. There's too many examples out there. What you don't want to do is just Google examples of incivility, because sometimes it comes up. I've had some really strange submissions. I've had like people post workplace videos talking about what incivility is, but it's not really an example of incivility. So just that's why I'm really going to guide you to look at like social media, news sites, news pages, anything like that, because especially in the comment section, you're going to get a really good grasp of how people can not be very civil with one another. So then you want to make sure you save that and upload it to the Dropbox there. And of course you have your chapter 9 quiz. So here are the questions. It says you have a professor and he's devising a set of rules to guide classroom discussions, and based on what this chapter talks about, what are 3 rules you would suggest specifically for classroom discussion? And remember, they talk about things like civility, diversity, inclusion, acceptance, like that kind of stuff. So what kind of rules would guide your discussion if you are sitting in a classroom where you're talking about like this concept of philosophy? Question 2, there are 4 types of identity mentioned in the textbook: personal, role, social, and collective. Write about a time when one of those was important, like in a social interaction. Question 3, what's the purpose of Title IX in your opinion? Why is it important in higher ed? Question 4, what's the difference between equality and equity? And in your textbook, there's like a whole little picture about it. It talks about it there. You can also, type in here like Title IX, so you can look at that there. So talk about the difference between those 2. And then question 5, if one of your professors did not include contributions or perspectives of an underrepresented group, what could you do to support the inclusion of that aspect of diversity? All right, so make sure that you answer those in 2 to 5 complete sentences. Make sure you answer all parts of the questions, and then again, submit that. So that is your chapter 9 part of your assignments this week: your discussion, your civility project assignment, and the chapter 9 quiz. I will be back with your chapter 10 assignments.